All right, we are starting letter C, Texas, Mexico, and the United States. Let's first start with this image. Okay, well, let me put the name up here. Notice this is not misspelled. This is Tejas, what today we call Texas. If you notice, look at this is known as the Republic of Texas, but before that, it belonged to Mexico, and it was known as Tejas. I want you to notice the size of it. Okay, today it goes all the way up here, right? But at one time, that's the way the size was. And it was ruled by Mexico, and down here is Coahuila, where the capital is. Now, Tejas, Mexico, what they want to do is attract settlers. As I mentioned in the previous frame, uh, Tejas was uh, dominated by the Comanche Indians, and they attacked all sorts of communities. Okay, and you had Moses Austin, later his son Stephen F. Austin, who were, and they were called empresarios. Empresario is a Spanish word for entrepreneurs, and they were the ones that brought people over to Texas. Now, Mexico had a few laws that the Americans had to follow. Law number one, they had to uh, speak the Spanish language. Number two, they had to become Catholic. And number three, they had to, slavery was outlawed. But as it says right here, these laws were ignored by the Americans, and they continued to come. And if you notice, what's going to be happening is Mexico is going to be upset at Texas, and they're going to close off the river so no more Americans can come in. But Americans are going to continue to come in and to come into Tejas, okay? And eventually, what's going to happen is Santa Ana is going to be uh, forced to push these Americans out. And if you notice right here, Sam Houston, what you're going to be seeing is Texas, the Texans, the white Americans, as well as some Mexicans, are going to get together and they're going to rebel against the Mexican government, Mexican rule. And this is where Santa Ana comes in and says, all right, we got to get you guys out. And one of the areas that Santa Ana is going to attack is the Alamo. Okay, and of course, this is going to be known as the Texas Revolution. All the Americans, and in this case, Tejanos would be the proper word, because when you say Tejanos, you're including Mexicans, because keep in mind that some Mexicans fought on the side of the Texas Revolution. So you're going to have brother versus brother here. You're going to have Mexican soldiers uh, killing Mexican revolutionaries. And eventually, Santa Ana is going to be defeated at the Battle of San Jacinto. Okay. And Santa Ana was forced to sign a treaty that pretty much said, all right, the Rio Grande River is the boundary for Texas. And if you notice, no, it's not. And by the way, did Santa Ana have the authority to sign that treaty? And the answer to that is no. Once Texas got its independence, and it's going to be known as the Lone Star State, Sam Houston went to Congress in Washington, D.C., and said, I will allow you guys to annex Texas. But annex Texas, annexation means to become a part of, meaning I want to become a state of the United States. Texas will be rejected. Time and again, they push for annexation, but for the next 10 years, it will be rejected. And the simple reason is the United States didn't want to annex Texas. It's a slave state. and that would upset the balance of slave versus non-slave states. President Polk is going to be elected president, honestly, and he is known as a dark horse. And by dark horse, meaning he came out of nowhere. Nobody expected him to win. And when he ran as president or as a candidate, he ran under the platform of an expansionist. Expansionist means you want to gain territory and turn it into states and make the country bigger. And because he got elected, he saw it as it's my job to get land. Okay, and he pushes to buy California, and of course, Mexico's going to tell him. And at this time, California belongs to Mexico. Mexico's going to refuse that. Then they're going to push up in Canada. And I'll show you in a map what 5440 or fight means. And Americans in the north wanted land from Canada. Now, General Taylor is going to be sent to the Nueces River, which is right here by what is today Corpus. Okay, we're going to be seeing the start of the Mexican-American War. Not only was General Taylor sent to the Nueces River, but he was told to send patrols into this area. Now, some historians say that the first skirmishes began what is like Harlingen by the Arroyo. Okay, and when you started having skirmishes between Mexican and American patrols, some Americans were killed, and that was the excuse that President Polk is going to be looking for, because he's going to, and it's an important quote, he's going to say, American blood has been shed on American soil. Okay, and as you can tell right here, this is actually Mexican soil, because all of this is part of the Nuevo Santander land grant, and which later becomes Tamaulipas. Okay, so once he had his excuse, he's going to be sending General Taylor and General Scott into Mexico to attack. The first battle is going to take place, like 15 miles away from here at Palo Alto, where that cannon is outside. That is where the first battle is going to take place, the Battle of Palo Alto. Okay, we'll just go to Mexico City. When Mexico City will be taken by the Americans, that will end the Mexican-American War. And it is the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that pretty much sets the terms. And of course, Mexico had to understand that the United States said that the Rio Grande River, they call it Rio Bravo, is going to be the boundary between the United States and Mexico. The San Patricio Brigade, keep in mind that I mentioned Irish and Germans had arrived, and some of these Irish were recruited into the army, but they were treated harshly because they were Catholic. And some of these Irishmen heard that Mexico was offering land if the Irish fought for them. So they switched sides, and they were seen as traitors by the Americans. Keep in mind that why would they do that? Keep in mind that the Irish are Catholic and so are Mexicans. So that was the connection. The Wilmot Proviso is going to be tried to pass. Now, it will end, it will be killed. Okay, the Senate will not approve of it. But Americans were afraid of the spread of slavery. All this land, and Mexico lost half of their land, all that land is in the South, and many Americans thought, oh my God, slavery is going to spread over there, and the South is going to dominate. So the Wilmot Proviso was no slavery in the Mexican Cession territory. In other words, Mexican Cession means the land that we are going to win from Mexico. Right here, this is the 5440 or fight. If you notice, up here is the boundary 5440. And this is where the Americans say is the boundary between Canada and the United States. And we had already agreed in 1818 that we were going to honor this. But 5440, the Oregon Territory, okay, this is where Oregon and Washington are. A lot of Americans wanted it all the way to 5440, or else we're going to go to war with them. But Polk gave in quick. Why? Because there was a lot of land to be had from Mexico. So it was not worth it. Right here, you see the rivers. Okay. And if you notice, here is the nueces or nueces, meaning pecans. This is the boundary of Texas and Mexico. But because of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, Mexico was forced to agree that this was the boundary. Right here you see the Mexican cession territories that were gained from Mexico, California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and part of New Mexico. Okay. Also keep in mind that down here, this is Baja California. It remained with Mexico. Right here you see República Mexicana Batallón de San Patricio. This is the Irish battle flag, the Republic, the Mexican Republic, the San Patricio Brigade. Okay. And that's it for letter C. Thank you very much.